Hello guys, so my name is Aranza Cepeda Lestade, that's a picture of me. And so I am from a city called Puebla, it's in Mexico. Pretty close to Mexico City, like 2 hours away to the south. It's a beautiful place, we're surrounded by mountains and volcanoes and everything, as you guys can see there. We have lots of churches and pyramids and stuff like that. So things about me. Well, I have a bachelor's in physics. I also did a master's in education. I am a mom. My daughter, she's almost 5 years old. I'm married. Um, I don't know, some weird things about me, I guess. I used to be a flag marshal for a long time. I worked when I was in the States. I worked for the Texas Petawat, which was a really cool experience. I've been teaching for the last 7 years of my life. I even taught a little bit when I was in college, not like formal teaching, but I was just like all the time, helping my classmates or whatever. I just really enjoyed being like in front of people. I'm 31 years old, and I guess that's it. Now the places where I've worked, I started working. My first job actually was in the Texas Petawat, as I said before. I worked there for 1 year as a student assistant. It was a cool experience. I learned a lot. Then I finished my bachelor's and I started working as a teacher. I worked in UPAEP, which is a local college here in Puebla. Pretty good and like Mexico all around. Then I worked in a small school called Colegio María del Rosario, which is the place that I did like my elementary school, junior, and then high school. I worked there for just 1 year because I got pregnant, so I had to, stop teaching. And my last job, not really last because I'm going to start working for UPAEP again next week. But until this semester, I was working at UVM, which is a local university just in Mexico. We are part or from the Laureate University, something something, just a group of universities all around the world. In all these places, except from the Paraguay, of course, I've worked as a science and math teacher. And at UVM, I did a little bit of English as second language. Now, what is my identity as an educator and a professional? Well, I don't want to say that ADHD defines me, but it kind of does as a teacher, I guess. Um, I really care about relations with my students. I appreciate, um, having good relationships with my boss or my superiors, and also with my workmates and my students. I really appreciate human contact. I guess that's the main one of the reasons that I teach, because I love humans. I'm a mom, so that's it does play an important role for me as an educator and as a professional, because the decisions that I have taken are always my priority, my daughter. So I'm late to pretty much everything. I try not to be late to my classes. I've gotten better with time. I've been teaching for 7 years, so it's not as it used to be. But I'm late with paperwork. I forget about it. So yeah, like all the bureaucracy of teaching, that's a difficulty for me, definitely. I'm very. I want to say I don't know if I'm creative, because that's a characteristic of my personality. I want to say, or I guess I'm creative because I get bored easily. So my classes are very different from one another. Like if I feel a group different, or if I'm feeling different at that point, like I try to make my classes different and entertaining, and I don't know. I love science, so that's something that I try to bring to the table all the time that I'm teaching. Like if it's math, I try to relate it to science. I like English. When I was teaching English, I was trying to, every all the time related to something related to science. So yeah, I mean, I don't know if students love me or hate me, but that's something definitely about me. Now, identity as an educational researcher. I love to read. That doesn't mean I read the material for the PhD program. Sometimes if I like it, like I'm gonna read it and I'm gonna read it. Like I can spend a lot of time reading. I really like it. Um, the problem is I have a lot of interests, so I tend to deviate a little bit from what I'm supposed to be reading from, like for my classes, because maybe I found like a weird word that I didn't know about or topic, and then I do a little bit of research on that, and then I just completely lose track of what I was reading first. Also, my main interests are professional development for college professors, and especially like in the physics department. My husband, he's a physicist. He teaches physics at the university level, and we talk a lot about what are the qualifications required for a physicist as a teacher, I guess. And it's not easy because the requirements are for you to be, have PhD, but not really any pedagogy is required, but you're still a teacher. So I don't know. I think that's kind of weird. In Mexico, like the professional development programs we have are, I don't want to talk bad, but they're not good. Like they are just gonna teach you how to use Blackboard or like any TI that it's useful for your class, but that's it. Like they're not gonna get any good pedagogical preparation, I want to say. I don't know what would be the word for that, but anyway, I'm really interested in that. And another interest that I have is abductive reasoning. I really want to understand how abductive reasoning plays or what role, if it's important or not, in physics. There's some research in biology and other things, but not so much in physics. There's a little bit in elementary level, but I want to know how we can use this at high school and college level. If there's more, there are more pros than cons, etc. So I guess I'm very divergent in the way that I think. I'm a little bit scared because I tend to like fall in love with a topic, and then I decide I want to do that for research, but then I don't want to do it anymore. So let's see how this goes. This is my second year as a PhD student, but I don't know. Now, me as an educator, I guess something that I've always tried to do with my students is to contextualize learning. I like if there is some important thing going on in NASA, I'm gonna play that to my students. If there's like an activity we can do, like I really try to contextualize, and I also try to make them see that for like there's physics in their own interests. I don't know, like if my student loves to paint, like we talk about physics in paintings, not just like the design and symmetries and stuff, but also like materials and other things. I really try to make to make my classroom a place where they can participate, where they feel safe, because like a lot of them don't talk because they feel dumb, and they're like, teacher, I'm gonna say something dumb and I don't want to talk and I don't want to participate in the class. I really try to make them see that I'm dumb too, like in other things, or like I don't know a lot of things, just a little bit of physics. So I just try to make my classrooms like a safer environment. Now, as far as teaching goes, I like how physics should be taught. I guess because of I don't know if it's a condition or what, but I'm a really hands-on person. So I try to start every single one of my units with something experimental. Like I know the abstraction of physics is super important, and of course we do numbers, of course we learn about formulas and stuff. But like, what's the physics of a car wheel? I'm gonna play. So, for example, in this case, we were like watching how the NASA was deploying something that was related to the university where I worked at. So I took them to this classroom and we were watching the video because I thought it was important for them to see that, physics was used to send that whatever thing the university sent to Jesus Christ. There we go. So there we were learning the physics about cartwheel. I think I have more videos, but I couldn't find them of my students doing cartwheels. And here, so this is my unit of electromagnetism. Like every single one of the tables had a different experiment. So they were playing with like balloons, and then we have a Tesla generator. They were playing with magnets. The other one, the last group, it was like a rotation of groups, and then the last one had to do like a lab report. So like I think I used these videos to show you guys a little bit of what I do in as a teacher. I think physics should be very hands-on, especially because I think it's very important for the students to contextualize what they're learning, to see it, because they tend to feel like, yeah, physics and science and math, they're just like too up there and I'm down here. So I guess that's what I try to do, like make them see that it's like an everyday thing. So anyway, that's it. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you guys in class. Thank you.